Welcome back to ESBR Boxing's YouTube channel. It's me, Niall, here giving a quick reaction to the news that broke this morning that Naoya Inoue and Junto Nakatani will both return on the same card on December 27th in Japan. It's Ring 5, Night of the Samurai, a really entertaining card featuring a host of top-class Japanese boxers against a litany of Mexican counterparts and also some other interesting fighters. But yeah, as I say, you've got Naoya anyway returning to the ring to face Alan David Picasso. You've got Junto Nakatani moving up the super bantamweight to face the Mexican puncher Sebastian Hernandez. On the card, you've also got the likes of Kenshiro Taraji looking to get back in the win column. The world-class Kenshiro Taraji. You've got British Jazza Dickens coming off a big win against Albert Batagaziev, returning to the ring in a really tough fight against Satsumi. So yeah, it's going to be a really interesting night, and of course, it's a collision course really for Inoue and Nakatani. If they both come through these fights, it looks like it's Inoue, Nakatani, the early part of 2026, mid 2026, and yeah, in an absolute super fight, the biggest fight in Japanese boxing history. But yeah, they both have jobs to do first. They can't overlook their opponents here, both facing unbeaten opponents. So yeah, it's going to be a tricky night, but yeah, let's hope they can both come through and set up that absolute mega fight that boxing fans, dream of in any way, Nakatani super fight at super bantamweight. So yeah, we'll start with Naoya anyway, of course, coming off the win, the decisive decision victory over Murjan Akhmadaliev last weekend, only a few days ago now, and he's straight back out at it. It was a very easy night's work against Akhmadaliev, a lot easier than people thought it would be. Very underwhelming kind of performance from Akhmadaliev, but anyway, proved not only that he can punch hard, but he can box. He is a very, very well skilled boxer as well to win out over 12 rounds there convincingly against a very good boxer in Akhmadaliev. But yeah, now he faces Alan David Picasso. Of course, it's been a name that's been linked with an Inoue fight for a while now, and it's going to happen on December 27th. Picasso is an interesting one, not really well known amongst the wider boxing audience, but he is unbeaten. Unbeaten Mexican, one draw on the record, 30 wins, I believe, 17 knockouts. So can punch a bit, he can box. Not a massive puncher, but he can crack. And we know, as we're going to talk about with Nakatani's opponent in a few minutes. Mexican, unbeaten, unheralded Mexican punchers are always a big risk, but you look at it, as I say, the fight that he's had this past weekend against Murjan Akhmadaliev, a lot of people thought that that would be the biggest test at 122 pounds of the current super bantamweight. So I'm of the opinion that it probably still was, even though he came through it so easily. But yeah, no disrespect to Picasso, but I don't think he should put a dent in the eye anyway. I think it'll be an even easier night than he had against Akhmadaliev, and that's saying something. I think anyway we'll get a stoppage here, and I think he'll get a stoppage in about 7 or 8 rounds. I'm gonna go with. I just can't see what Alan Picasso does better than anyway, or does to worry Naoya anyway. But he is Mexican. He'll come to win. He won't come to lie down. He'll come to spoil the party for an Inoue Nakatani fight. But I just think Inoue, unless he drastically takes his eye off the ball here, which he's not the type of character to do, it's an easy night's work. I really think it's an easy night's work. I think he'll outbox him. He'll download the data early. Picasso might have success early as Inoue sees what he has, but as Inoue adjusts to it and realizes that he has nothing to worry him, he'll blast him out. I really do think he'll blast him out there, and as I say, 7 or 8 rounds maybe, that sort of range. But I think he'll get the stoppage here. He didn't get it on Saturday, on Sunday, I should say, but I think he'll get it here. So yeah, I think anyway he'll hold up his end of the bargain, and then you've got Junto Nakatani, the potential opponent for anyway facing Sebastian Hernandez. There was a lot of talk that it might be Ramon Cardenas that Nakatani fights. Of course, Cardenas fought anyway. A few months ago now, dropped him. Gave him a scare, but anyway, got it done. But now it's Sebastian Hernandez, unbeaten, huge puncher, 20 wins, 18 knockouts. really kind of heavy-handed. And yeah, as I say, we've seen it before when big underdogs, unheralded big punching Mexicans come to spoil the party on away soil, and Hernandez will be no different. He'll come to spoil the party. But if you look at his record, for those who aren't familiar with Sebastian Hernandez, he has all those knockouts, but he just he's fought nobody. He's fought absolutely nobody of note. But that doesn't take away the fact, as I say, he will come to win, and he does carry power in his hands. So Nakatani will have to be careful. And of course, at a new weight division now, super bantamweight coming up, the bantamweight king moving up to super bantamweight. So it'll be interesting to see how he adjusts to the new weight division and how he takes a shot of a very heavy-handed, fully fledged super bantamweight because it's gonna, as I mentioned, it's a collision course on the road to fighting a very heavy-handed super bantamweight in the Oya Inoue. So yeah, it's gonna be dangerous early. It could be dangerous early for Nakatani. He's gonna have to be wary of the power. But again, as I say, like anyway, once he downloads that data, he's gonna be way too versatile for Sebastian Hernandez. He really is. Nakatani is a phenomenal fighter. He's one of my favorite fighters in the world. So versatile, can box, tall, rangy, can box, southpaw, massively heavy-handed, beautiful bone crunching left hand. I think he can really do it all. Nakatani, can he take the shots? Is another thing, as I say, but I fully expect him to pass this test with flying colours, to be honest, of Sebastian Hernandez, the test that Hernandez will bring to the table. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. Both men, as I say, have to come through this, and then where all systems go, hopefully for a big, big fight between Naoya anyway and Junto Nakatani. And it's just a dream, if you had a magic wand for a super fight that you can make in boxing, for me it'd be this one. I think it's two fighters who are relatively close to unbeatable, to be honest with you. Facing off both Japanese superstars. And I think Junto Nakatani has a massive, massive chance of beating the monster, of beating Inoue. I really do. Of all the people that Naoya Inoue has fought and could fight, I think Nakatani has the best chance of beating him. It's just that well-rounded nature, and that southpaw, heavy-handed, clever boxer, fast hands. I think has all the ingredients to cause an upset against Naoya Inoue. I really do. That being said, you can never write off the monster. And if anyway beating Nakatani, it would have been an incredible win in his own right, and further cementing his all-time great legacy. But yeah, I cannot wait if that happens. But yeah, both men need to pass their test first. As I say, Naoya anyway facing Alan David Picasso in the headliner for all the marbles at Super Bantamweight. And Junto Nakatani making a Super Bantamweight bow at 122 pounds against the unbeaten Mexican puncher Sebastian Hernandez. It's December 27th, Ring 5, Night of the Samurai, Japan. As I said, that was just my quick reaction to the news of this quick turnaround for Inoue and the return of Nakatani. So yeah, let us know what you think in the comments. What do you make of this card? What do you make of Hernandez and Picasso as opponents for Inoue and Nakatani? Can they spring an upset? And most importantly, who do you have winning that super fight between Inoue and Junto Nakatani? Let us know what you think. Get involved in the comments down below. Drop a like on the video if you enjoy the content. And if you're not doing so already, we'd really appreciate it if you could subscribe.